Hey y'all, is this recording? I don't know. Well, I've already tried to record this once. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to almost be recovered from my cold that I've had the last 2 weeks. It's ended up with a fever blister. So I'm hoping that, goes away and my cracked ribs stop hurting from when I fell the other day. Then I'll be up to snuff ready to take on the season. It should be Thanksgiving, and then before you know it, Christmas. But what I was thinking about today, and I know it seems like that I'm at war with the transgender community. I'm not, because I do have some transgender friends, and I have drag queen friends, and I have gay friends and lesbian friends and friends from all walks of life. And I love all people. I'll get into and involved in about anything. But when it concerns me, it's when I can see what's going on, and most of today's people don't even understand what it is. I'm a transsexual. I've talked about that enough. I don't want to have to go into all that. But transsexuals actually feel they are the opposite gender. So they, as young people, can go into those lives, not as a trans person, but as that gender. So that's what the original medical transition was for. That's what doctors agreed to help people do if they could fit into that role. That's the reason you had a real life test before you were allowed to fully transition. You had to be able to work and live within that gender. So this was a serious step in someone's life. You weren't going to step from a normal life into a life you weren't prepared for. You were leaving a life you could not live to try to go into a life that you could live. And that's what transsexuals did. We didn't go into that world to be a transgender person, to claim all these rights as women. We snuck in the back door of womanhood with our heads down a little bit until we seen we could fit into that world. And then those of us who could excelled in that life, I was able to totally pass, so I could excel in anything I wanted to do as a female, not as a trans anything. And that's what I had done for 20 years in Charlotte, North Carolina, before I moved here in Mississippi to no man's land. But that's another story. But those laws that were put in place to make sure that we could have jobs and not be fired because they found out we were trans, because up to that point, no matter how much we passed and did a great thing, if something come out about you, you could be fired legally. So that's when those laws were put in place. Not so these come-lately transgender people who don't mind looking in between and spooking people, they had rights all of a sudden when this all was passed. So you have all the really strange fringe of society that could take this and do anything they wanted to with it because they had this basic coverage. And that's the reason the transvestites and the cross-dressers and all those people that have those fetishes, they wanted to be able to have the legal rights to do anything they wanted to do, so they said, we're going to put this term transgender. That Virginia, what was it, Virginia Prince or Virginia Price? Virginia something, she was a transvestite who lived as a woman. She coined the word transgenderist. Sounds really close to transgender, doesn't it? So they said, we're going to use this as a term to cover everything within the gender variants. Transsexual, transvestite, cross-dressers, autogalophilics, anybody that had any kind of quirk in the gender would fall under that. That didn't mean you went away from the original term. It just means they would all fall within that category. But now, those transgender people say, oh, transsexual's not even a word anymore. That word is dead. You're a dinosaur. Sit down and shut up. You don't even know where you got your rights. You have no idea what you're even doing. Because they can snatch those rights away from you as easy as you got them. And nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you to have your surgery paid for. No. You're lucky that you're going to have the rights to live that life. And go out and make your money the best way you could, like we did. It would have been nice, but we didn't have those luxury. We had to pay for ours. And that meant the only ones who got the surgery were the ones who actually needed it. Because they had to work for it, doing things they really didn't want to do. And that takes a lot of desire. I'm telling you.